Hey guys, what is up and welcome back. So today is going to be my February update for my reading challenge for the year, and I decided to do it at the beginning of March because I wanted to make sure to include all of the books from February. So if you are new to my channel, then let me update you. I decided to challenge myself to read 65 books this year. I read around 48 last year, and at the rate I'm going, I am going to surpass 65 probably within the next few months. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the books that I read at the end of January. So as the January video went up, I was still reading. It was still the month of January. So I told you guys in the last video that I was starting Dark Places by, I think it's Gillian Flynn. I always say Gillian, but Gillian Flynn. Dark Places. This book is about a girl named Libby whose family was massacred some years ago, like when she was little, and so it follows her life now that she's an adult, and she realizes that her funds are running low. So everyone that heard about the massacres was donating to her, and now her funds are running low, and she's looking for a way to get more money so that she doesn't have to work. And so she comes across this society that has been obsessed with the massacre of her family. During that time, she actually pointed the finger at her older brother named Ben, I believe. So Ben is like in jail. And so she teams up with the society and starts selling off parts of her story to make money. What's her name? Libby is not likable at all. I couldn't stand her. She's selfish. She is like self-pitying. She was just absolutely, like, I hated her throughout the book. Like, I did not care. And when I finally got to the end and figured out what happened, just no one in the family was likable. Like, I didn't care at the end that they all died. I mean, there is a twist. Like, I didn't guess what was coming, but I hated the characters. I did not like them. But if I have to give this one a rating 1 to 10, I would say probably a 6 or a 7, maybe like a 6.5. It was good writing, and it was a good read as well. I was just like, oh, like, okay. But yeah, I did not like the characters. Ew. Okay, and the last book I read in January was My Husband's Wife by Jane Corey. I'm sorry, I wasn't that impressed. At the very end, it just seemed like towards the end, the author was just kind of like throwing things together to like make up for that, like that awe factor and that shock factor. And to me, it just didn't flow as well as it could have. And because of that, I was just kind of left very disappointed. It just kind of seemed like things were all over the place and it didn't really make sense, and I just wasn't impressed. So because of that, I would give this maybe a 5. Yeah, maybe a 5. So for the month of January, I did read 11 books. It was crazy. This past month, February, I was more interested in Netflix, so I didn't read as many books in February. But we're gonna go ahead and get into those now. Okay, so first up is Smokescreen by Sandra Brown. I got this book from Goodwill. It was like $3. And as I'd mentioned in my previous video, I like Sandra Brown. I really did like this book. I couldn't figure out what was going on and how things were connected, so I really did enjoy it. I would give this one probably a 7. I really liked it. I would read it again. It's probably one of those ones that I'll just like kind of go back to in a few years because I like to keep all of my books even when I hate them. Okay, then we have Conversion by Katherine Howe. This one, a 2 out of 10. Not impressed at all, and it just dragged on. No. Next, this is from the same author as My Husband's Wife. This one is called Blood Sisters. This one is about there's 3 little girls that set off to school one morning. Within an hour, one of them is dead. So fast forward 15 years later, there's a girl named Kitty who is in this facility. She can't speak. She just like has garbled words. I believe she's in a wheelchair. and she can't remember what happened that day. And then at the same time, there's an art teacher named Allison who ends up volunteering at this jail. And I don't know why authors do this, but it's like this thing, I don't know if it's like a tactic or like a gimmick, where the person who lives, like the victim who lives, they're just so tormented and they just leave every chapter ending with, oh, but they don't know what I did that night, but oh, they don't know how horrible I am, or oh, this is just plaguing me. First of all, that's annoying. Stop doing that. Like, I get it, you feel bad, but you don't have to tell me how bad you feel every single time. And then it's just like, you're gonna take forever to tell me what actually happened, so why are you bringing it up right now? You find out what happens and you're just like, oh wow, that's crazy. And then in a plot twist, that's not actually what happens, this is what happened. And you're just like, okay. And then another plot twist, that's not actually what happened, this is what happened. Like, get to the point. Stop wasting my time. This one, a 2, because it just pissed me off. It made me so mad. And then when you finally figure, like, by the time it finally got to what actually really happened, I didn't care anymore. Because it's like, you did all of this and then it just, no. If you've read this book, please tell me what you think, because I was annoyed. Lisa Gardner, this one is Alone, and I've been looking for more Lisa Gardner books since I read the one, what was it called? Find Her, because that one was super good. This one was really good too. So this one was about a state trooper named Bobby who ends up shooting this man in the line of duty, or he comes to like a domestic disturbance call, and he's a sniper, and he ends up shooting this man that he believes was about to kill his wife. Now, the wife's name was Catherine. Catherine has a son. Catherine was also like a victim of this like horrible kidnapping years and years ago when she was younger, and that ties into it. And then the story also follows this prisoner who's like just got out. He'd done time for this horrible crime he committed. So Bobby, Catherine, and this prisoner are all kind of like connected in a way, and the story just follows the aftermath of this shooting. This one was good. This was like some solid work from Lisa Gardner. When you finally figured out like what actually happened and how all of these things fit together, I was just like, what? Oh my god, are you serious? The ending, like the cleaning up of the loose ends, I wasn't really a fan of. I felt like it was very rushed and it kind of just wasn't realistic. But the big reveal, like the climactic part, I was just like, whoa, you're crazy. I did not see that coming. So this one for me was probably like a 6.5 out of 10, I would say, for this. Next, we have The Girl Who Lived by Christopher Grayson. So I had been seeing this on Amazon. It had such great reviews. I was just like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm gonna get it because I just want to read it. This one is about a girl named Faith, I think. Yeah, it's about a girl named Faith. Her sister, her dad, her best friend, and her best friend's mother were all murdered. And she happened to get away. She was the girl who lived. But she's not doing so hot. She is getting arrested, and she is always drinking. And so the book starts with her getting released from this psychiatric hospital, and she's on probation, and she has all these things she has to do. She has all these meetings that she has to go to. She goes back to the town where it happened. She decides that she's gonna hunt down her sister's killer. No one believes her because she is a raging alcoholic. She does not want to get better. This book started off, I feel, very strongly. And then once you start getting to the end and things are winding down and you're figuring out what actually happened, it got really stupid to me and it got really tedious. So Faith, like, I swear, and I counted, I think she went to like 4 different people for help at one point in time. And someone comes to help her, and then she jinxes to herself, oh my gosh, you know, you're the one who killed my family. And then she runs away, and then she runs to another person for help, and she tells them what happens, and then she has some revelation, epiphany, and it's like, oh no, you're the one who killed my family. I was wrong about the first person. So then she runs again to someone else, and like it happens 4 times. So at this point I'm just like, okay, clearly you don't know who killed your family, so stop assuming that you know, because you keep on naming all of these people who had nothing to do with it. And then when you finally get down to the person who like actually did it, it's just so unbelievable. To me, it was unrealistic. It was unbelievable. It was, I think the author really wanted to have that wow factor, which I get, but you needed to work to make it more believable, because it was just like, okay, no, that doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. So for me, this one was probably a 5. It had potential, but in my personal opinion, it did not meet it. Last but not least, Crazy Rich Asians. I picked this up from Goodwill a few weeks ago, and I told myself, okay, like, go ahead and read it. Now, I had watched the movie beforehand, which I will tell you is not a good idea. In my opinion, they took so much creative license with the movie that it strays greatly from the book. I do like the movie better. If you don't know what this book or the movie is about, it's about a girl named Rachel Chu. She has a boyfriend named Nicholas Young. They live together in New York, and Nicholas invites her to come to his best friend's wedding in Singapore, if I'm not mistaken. So Rachel goes to, you know, this wedding. What she does not realize is that Nicholas Young is like a mega billionaire, and his family is so snooty and so rich and so prejudiced. So it just basically details like how Rachel navigates through these people, especially Nick's mother. Nick's mother does not like her. Nick's mother is shady. She works her hardest to try to discredit Rachel and get Rachel out of there, because she does not think that Rachel is good enough for her son. Now, with this particular book, there are a lot of footnotes in the book, because there are a lot of words that are used that are in a different language. Now, it maybe is Singapore language, or there was Cantonese, there was Mandarin, there was Hokkien, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but there are tons of footnotes letting you know what these phrases mean and what these foods are. The food sounded delicious, by the way. And then there's also footnotes kind of detailing these titles that some of the people have. So for me, it kind of felt like I was reading a research paper a little bit, because there were just so many footnotes. Some of them were helpful, some of them, I will not lie, I honestly just kind of skimmed through, because I was just thinking to myself, you know, it's not important, it's okay. But yeah, this differed so vastly from the movie that I think my rating is kind of biased, since I did like the movie more, so keep that in mind. I would probably give this one maybe a 5. I don't foresee myself reading it again. That's just me. If you guys read this and you had a different view of it, then by all means, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. That counts 6 books for the month of February versus the 11 that I read in January. Things happen. So yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. What books have you been reading? What books have you been loving? Did you love any of these that I mentioned? Did you hate them as much as I did? Some of them? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.